Average human lifespan, a journey through time in a distant epoch, where towering mammoths trudged across frozen tundras, fierce cave lions stalked their prey, and relentless winds carved desolate landscapes. The earliest humans emerged, navigating a precarious existence on the brink of survival. This was a world where life was fragile, no secure shelters, no guaranteed sustenance, and each day a relentless struggle against death. Yet, buried within ancient bone piles, rudimentary stone tools, and the charred remnants of long extinguished fires, scientists have unearthed astonishing evidence of our ancestors' longevity, challenging the widespread notion that prehistoric humans rarely lived beyond their 20s or 30s. Despite a life besieged by perils from deadly predators to natural calamities, modern research reveals that some ancient humans achieved ages we would deem remarkable today. Contrary to popular belief, not all died young. Some individuals endured into their 60s, 70s, or even older, their bodies etched with the marks of time, worn teeth, weathered bones, and stories lost to the ages. These fossils narrate a tale not merely of survival, but of profound connection, care, and cooperation within communities, qualities that enabled humanity to thrive amid the harshest conditions. So, how long did our ancestors truly live? What enabled them to attain such surprising longevity in a hostile world? Join us on an immersive journey from humanity's dawn to modern hunter-gatherer societies to uncover what science reveals about longevity in primordial times. Understanding longevity and life expectancy, a misunderstood concepto. Explore how long our ancestors lived. We must first clarify the concept of life expectancy, a term often misinterpreted, perpetuating myths about past longevity. When we hear that people in a modern nation live an average of 70 years, this refers to life expectancy at birth, the average number of years a newborn is expected to live based on the medical, nutritional, and social conditions of their era. However, this figure is heavily skewed by infant and child mortality, particularly in ancient societies or regions with limited healthcare access. Picture a community where a third of children perish before age 5 due to disease, malnutrition, or accidents. This high infant mortality rate drastically lowers the average life expectancy, sometimes to a mere 30 or 40 years. Yet, the crucial insight is this: those who survived childhood often lived far longer, frequently matching lifespans seen in developed nations today. To accurately gauge adult longevity, it's more revealing to examine life expectancy at age 10 or 15 rather than at birth. This approach mitigates the impact of early mortality and offers a clearer view of humans' capacity to reach advanced ages in the past. In prehistory, it's often assumed most people died in their 20s or 30s. Scientific estimates place life expectancy at birth between 20 and 35 years. But this figure primarily reflects the era's staggering infant mortality. Anthropologists estimate that 30% to 50% of newborns didn't survive to childhood due to poor hygiene, absent medical care, and harsh living conditions. However, those who overcame this early hurdle reaching adolescence had a significantly higher chance of living well beyond 30, sometimes reaching 60, 70, or even 80 years. For perspective, consider 18th century Europe, where life expectancy at birth was about 35 years. Yet, if someone reached age 15, they could expect to live another 40 to 50 years, reaching 55 to 65 years. A parallel dynamic existed in prehistory. A low life expectancy at birth didn't mean everyone died young. It reflected the immense challenges of early life. Those who survived often enjoyed robust health, remarkable adaptability, and community support, enabling them to live far longer than we might assume. Evidence from hunter-gatherer communities, a glimpse into the past. Among the richest sources for understanding prehistoric longevity are not fossils, but living or recently documented hunter-gatherer communities. These groups, dependent solely on nature without agriculture or modern technology, provide a close approximation of how our ancestors lived millennia ago. A groundbreaking study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, Examine 12 hunter-gatherer societies across 4 continents, from the Amazon's lush rainforests to the arid Kalahari Desert, from the Arctic's icy expanses to the Pacific's remote islands, to investigate longevity patterns. The study categorized 3 types of communities. 1. 5 groups living exclusively by hunting and gathering, such as the Hadza of Tanzania or the San of Namibia, whose lifestyles mirror those of Paleolithic humans. 2. 4 communities blending hunting and gathering with basic agriculture, like the Samain of Bolivia, who cultivate some crops but rely heavily on natural resources. 3. 5 communities that adopted some modern practices while retaining hunter-gatherer traditions, such as certain Australian Aboriginal groups or the Inuit of Canada. The results were revelatory. On average, 63% of children born in these communities survived to age 15, a remarkable feat given prehistoric infant mortality rates. Of those reaching 15, 68% lived to 45. This dispels the myth that prehistoric humans typically died by 30. Many reached middle age and beyond. In the most traditional hunter-gatherer groups, life expectancy at birth ranged from 21 to 37 years. However, if someone reached 45, they could expect to live another 14 to 24 years, placing their life expectancy from age 45 between 59 and 69 years, a striking figure compared to modern societies. Even more astonishing, the most common age of death for adults, the statistical mode, was 72 years, with a range of 68 to 78 years. This closely aligns with average life expectancies in developed nations like Japan 84 years or Switzerland 83 years. These findings shatter the notion that prehistoric humans lived only a few decades. Instead, they demonstrate that with community support, a healthy lifestyle, and environmental adaptability, many ancient humans reached advanced ages, playing critical roles in preserving culture, knowledge, and social cohesion. Causes of death. Perils of the ancient world. While some prehistoric humans achieved remarkable longevity, many were less fortunate. Their lives were fraught with dangers that could end abruptly. To understand why so many died young, scientists have studied mortality causes in modern hunter-gatherer communities, using them as a proxy for prehistory. A comprehensive study of several indigenous groups offered profound insights. The study found diseases as the leading cause of death, accounting for 70% of fatalities. These included infections from wounds, digestive illnesses from contaminated food, or parasites from the natural environment. Accidents and violence comprised 20, including falls from trees while gathering fruit, predator attacks, or intergroup conflicts. Age-related degenerative diseases, such as physical decline or joint issues, accounted for 9%. Notably, diseases dominated across all ages, underscoring that resilience to illness was a critical survival factor. A fascinating discovery was that infectious diseases like influenza or measles were nearly absent in hunter-gatherer communities with no external contact. Their small size, low population density, and nomadic lifestyle hindered viral spread and persistence. This contrasts sharply with later agricultural societies, where dense, sedentary communities became breeding grounds for diseases like smallpox or tuberculosis. Accidents posed a constant threat. Hunting was particularly dangerous, especially against formidable species like mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, or cave bears. A misaimed spear or failed escape could lead to severe injury or death. The natural environment, from treacherous cliffs to raging rivers, presented deadly risks. Intergroup conflicts, though less frequent than some assume, also occurred, often over territory or resources. Yet, those who survived often exhibited robust health and exceptional adaptability, supported by their communities and armed with refined survival skills. They lived longer than we might expect. These individuals weren't just strong warriors or adept hunters, but people who lived in harmony with their environment and kin, fostering resilience that extended their lives. Australian Aboriginals, a lens into prehistoric life. Deepen our understanding of prehistoric life and longevity, we turn to Australian Aboriginal peoples, whose existence offers a vivid window into how our ancestors survived in a hostile world. Aboriginal Australians have inhabited the continent for at least 50,000 years, maintaining a hunter-gatherer lifestyle until European arrival in the 18th century. Their lives were marked by challenges, from hunting kangaroos and gathering plants in arid deserts to navigating intertribal conflicts and high infant mortality. Historical accounts from early European explorers, such as William Dampier in 1688 or James Cook in 1770, indicate that while the average life expectancy of Aboriginal Australians was around 40 years, largely due to high infant mortality, it was not uncommon to find individuals reaching 70, 80, or even 90 years. These people led active lives, sustained by a diet of natural foods like game meat, tubers, and wild fruits. They were deeply integrated into tight-knit family and community networks, where mutual support, especially for elders, was paramount. A striking example is the Ngarrindjeri people of the Lower Murray River in South Australia. Anthropologists have documented that in this community, elders were revered as custodians of cultural knowledge. They passed down rituals, hunting techniques, and tool-making skills to younger generations, ensuring the community's survival across time. These elders not only lived long, but played a pivotal role in maintaining social cohesion, resolving conflicts, and guiding ceremonial activities. While we cannot directly equate Aboriginal Australians with Paleolithic humans, their nature-dependent, seasonally nomadic, and community-based lifestyle provides valuable insights into how our ancestors achieved notable longevity. Without modern medicine or technology, they relied on profound environmental knowledge, a balanced diet, and strong social bonds, key factors in overcoming harsh conditions and leaving a lasting legacy. The role of elders, pillars of the community. Modern indigenous peoples illuminates the role of elders in ancient societies. Far from being mere survivors, elders were guardians of knowledge, culture, and social stability. Among the Inuit of Greenland and northern Canada, elders are regarded as living treasures of wisdom. They possess intricate knowledge of seal and reindeer behavior, can predict snowstorms by reading weather signs, and master sophisticated hunting techniques, such as crafting spear points from whalebone or building resilient igloos. This knowledge is transmitted through stories shared around fires, ensuring community survival. In the Amazon rainforest, the Shipibo-Konibo people venerate elders as masters of traditional medicine. They know hundreds of medicinal plants to treat ailments from fevers to joint pain, and often serve as shamans in spiritual rituals, connecting the community to the spirit world. Their role extends beyond physical healing to fostering mental health and social harmony. These elders often live into their 70s or 82s, meticulously cared for by the community as a mark of respect. In many indigenous societies, elders also mediate conflict resolution. Among the Yolngu of Arnhem Land, Australia, elders lead meetings to settle disputes, from land conflicts to family disagreements. They draw on the Driamtime, a system of ancestral laws and knowledge, to make fair decisions. This mediation not only resolves conflicts, but strengthens community cohesion and mutual respect. These examples demonstrate that elders were never viewed as burdens in hunter-gatherer societies. Instead, they were vital pillars, contributing knowledge, experience, and leadership. Even when they could no longer contribute physically, they were cared for and revered, prompting a key question: did prehistoric humans see elders as liabilities, or did they recognize their profound value as guides and protectors of tradition? Geronticide, myth or reality? When imagining prehistoric humans, it's tempting to view elders as burdens, extra mouths to feed, slowed by age in a world demanding agility. But how accurate is this perception? The term geronticide describes the intentional abandonment or elimination of elders, a practice documented in some cultures, but primarily in extreme resource scarcity when group survival was at stake. Geronticide could manifest in two forms. 1. Voluntary. Some elders chose to stay behind to avoid hindering the group or consuming scarce resources. Among the Inuit, for example, stories recount elders opting not to continue during harsh winters, when food was scarce and the group needed to move swiftly for shelter. Similar acts occurred during droughts in parts of Africa and Australia, where elders might sacrifice themselves to give younger members a chance at survival. These decisions, though heart-wrenching, reflect profound love and sacrifice for the community. 2. Involuntary. In rarer cases, elders were abandoned, denied food or care, or even killed. The Heruli, a Germanic people from the early centuries provide a notable example. According to Roman historian Procopius, elders deemed useless were executed, either as a cultural ritual or to conserve resources. However, such practices were not typical in hunter-gatherer societies, where cohesion and mutual support were essential for survival. Crucially, there's no widespread evidence that geronticide was a standard practice in hunter-gatherer societies. Only in extreme circumstances, prolonged famines, natural disasters, or unsustainable conditions were such painful decisions made. Conversely, abundant evidence suggests elders were valued and cared for, even when they could no longer fend for themselves. Evidence from other Homo species, caring for elders in the deep past. Not only modern humans, Homo sapiens, showed care for their elders. Other Homo species left compelling evidence of this practice. A remarkable example comes from Homo erectus, a species that emerged over 2 million years ago and persisted across Africa, Asia, and Europe. They faced a perilous world, confronting predators like lions, leopards, and cave bears with rudimentary stone tools and harsh living conditions. Homo erectus matured faster than modern humans, likely reaching adulthood between 12 and 14 years, driven by survival demands in a hostile environment. Their physically demanding lifestyle, hunting, gathering, and constant movement, may have limited average life expectancy. Yet, at the Dmanisi site in Georgia, archaeologists uncovered a 1.8 million-year-old fossil collection, including 5 skulls and numerous bones, among the oldest and best preserved hominid remains in Eurasia. Among these, skull number 4, known as the Dmanisi elder, stands out. This individual had lost nearly all their teeth except one canine, with dental sockets reabsorbed by bone, indicating they lived many years without functional teeth. Unable to chew raw meat, tough roots, or unprocessed plants, they likely relied on soft foods like brains, bone marrow, or food prepared by others, a feat nearly impossible without group support. The Dmanisi elder's weakened body was unfit for hunting or gathering, yet their survival demonstrates their group's care, providing food and protection against the ancient world's dangers. Scientists estimate they were 40 to 50 years old at death, a remarkable age for a Homo erectus. Some suggest they could have been older, possibly reaching 60 in exceptionally favorable conditions. Imagining a Homo erectus group, small-bodied, with brains half our size and primitive tools, caring for a toothless elder is powerful evidence of their social cohesion. They shared resources with those who could no longer contribute physically, revealing a deep sense of communal responsibility and compassion in humanity's early evolution. Comparing with primates, the longevity potential of Homo erectus. To better grasp Homo erectus' longevity potential, we can compare them to modern primates like chimpanzees, orangutans, and gorillas. Wild chimpanzees can live 40 to 50 years, with some reaching 60 in favorable conditions. In captivity, chimpanzees have reached up to 80 years. Like cheetah, a famous Hollywood chimpanzee, orangutans and gorillas can also exceed 50 or 60 years in controlled environments, with a larger brain and more advanced social organization than primates. Homo erectus likely had the potential to live longer in ideal conditions. Though rare, it wasn't impossible for some to reach 60, 70, or even 80 years, especially if they avoided serious illness or injury and had group support. Reaching 40 seems to have been a more common milestone, indicating Homo erectus included not just young, strong individuals, but also elders who played significant community roles. Neanderthals, testimonies of compassion. Neanderthals, close relatives of Homo sapiens, offer further compelling stories of longevity and elder care. Sharing a common ancestor from about 500,000 years ago, many modern humans carry 1-2 Neanderthal DNA and those of European or Asian descent. Shorter but more robust, with slightly larger brains. 1.500 cm vs. 1,350 cubic centimeters for Homo sapiens. Neanderthals matured faster, reaching adulthood between 13 and 15 years, and led demanding lives hunting animals like reindeer, bison, or mammoths. Their lives were perilous. Fossil studies reveal 79-94 of Neanderthals had at least one traumatic injury, from broken bones to wounds from large animal attacks, often linked to close-range hunting with spears. Despite this, some lived to advanced ages, leaving evidence of compassion and care. Notable case is Shanidar 1, found in Shanidar Cave, Iraqi Kurdistan. Known as the Shanidar Elder, this individual had a body riddled with ailments, only one functional arm, partial blindness from a severe facial blow likely paralyzing part of their body, degenerative joint diseases, leg injuries, and ear malformations causing significant deafness. Unable to hunt or gather efficiently, they were an easy target for predators like lions or cave bears. Yet, Shanidar 1 lived to 40 or even 50 years, a remarkable age for a Neanderthal. Their survival is clear evidence of group care. They were fed, protected, and supported for years, showing their value lay not in physical strength, but in shared knowledge, hunting expertise, tool-making skills, or perhaps oral traditions. Shanidar 1 is a symbol of Neanderthal compassion and social cohesion. Shanidar 1 isn't unique. Another skeleton from La Chapelle-aux-Saints, France, belonged to a man aged 40-50 who had lost most of his teeth and suffered severe joint diseases. He too survived only with community help, receiving soft foods and protection. These findings show elder care was integral to Neanderthal culture. Early Homo sapiens, continuing the tradition of care. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, emerged in Africa about 300,000 years ago and migrated to other continents 100,000 to 200,000 years ago, coexisting with Neanderthals for a time. Facing similar challenges, hunting, gathering, and surviving in a dangerous world, they likely had comparable life expectancies. While fossils of very old Homo sapiens from before the Upper Paleolithic about 40,000 years ago are rare, later sites provide valuable clues. A striking example is Cro-Magnon 1, found in the Cro-Magnon rock shelter in France. This man, aged 40-50, suffered from severe arthritis and neurofibromatosis type 1, a genetic condition causing visible cysts or tumors on his face, particularly the forehead and cheeks. Other individuals at the site were also elderly, with healed injuries, indicating care until death. The site, interpreted as a burial ground with grave goods like shells and jewelry, reflects respect for the deceased. Individuals like Cro-Magnon 1 were supported by their communities, even with serious ailments, showing early Homo sapiens inherited and developed cultural values like Neanderthals, including compassion and mutual support. The Neolithic Age, new opportunities and challenges. The advent of agriculture around 10,000 years ago ushered in the Neolithic Age, transforming human life. Settling into villages and storing food reduced the daily pressures of hunting and gathering, benefiting elders by lessening physical demands and providing food stability. However, new challenges emerged. Chronic malnutrition became a significant issue. Diets heavy in cereals like wheat or barley often lacked proteins, vitamins, and minerals, leading to diseases like anemia or osteoporosis. Dense, sedentary communities also facilitated the spread of infectious diseases, from influenza to tuberculosis and smallpox, which were rare in hunter-gatherer societies. Still, some reached advanced ages. Neolithic sites like Adelhike in Turkey show individuals living to 50 or 60, though often with bone and dental diseases. In the Bronze Age about 3,000 years ago, average life expectancy remained 28 to 38 years, similar to hunter-gatherer societies, suggesting agriculture didn't significantly boost longevity. Conclusion: debunking myths and honoring the past ancient hunter-gatherers, and the few still existing, led extraordinary lives. Death lurked in every forest and plain, yet they persevered. Many didn't survive youth, but those who did often lived for longer than we imagine, reaching 60, 70, or even 80 years. The notion that they rarely surpass 30 is a myth science has decisively debunked. Elders were not mere survivors but silent pillars of their communities, contributing knowledge, experience, and leadership to overcome immense challenges. Fossils like the Dmanisi elder, Shanidar 1, and Cro-Magnon 1 reveal that even in the harshest conditions, ancient humans cared for their elders, even when they could no longer fend for themselves. These acts of compassion laid the foundation for human civilization. The story of prehistoric longevity is more than a scientific exploration. It's a tribute to unity, compassion, and the will to survive. From the earliest Homo erectus to modern hunter-gatherers, humans have shown that despite countless obstacles, they can live long, meaningful lives, leaving an enduring legacy. This is our story, resonating with profound emotion and grandeur.